is that? Must be a way across. Armadia. The Lords. How can this be?
Armadia hangs before you, her face cut and bruised, her chest barely moving. You think you lean in. That's no tear. It's sauce. The shimmering liquid is seeping from her wounds and dripping to the ground below her. Armadia hangs before you. You lean in. Your whispered blessing slithers up the tree, cutting the heavy, dark vines that she jolts awake with a gun.
My child, blessings be that you are here. Blessings be that they did not get you too.
She flinches away from your touch.
No, do not. Dear Fane, I know you mean well, but please, it is not necessary. The King's minions have done their worst for now. I knew I was right to trust in you, even the other gods.
She pauses, looks over her shoulder and sees the others hanging from the tree, all but lifeless for the first time.
Our brothers! Our sisters! This is perfect. No. It is too late for them. You need that source more than they. I do not say this out of malice. I say my love for you, Fane. My love. These misguided fools would sacrifice this world to the very forces that saw us strung up like so much fruit. No, we are the only hope to save this world. You and I alone. But we must hurry. The King's minions are close. They are so close. As I hung from the tree, I had a vision. I saw Rivellon overrun by monsters, void-woken creatures that destroy all in their path. They are his servants, and that is his threat, his promise. You can't let it happen. You have to stop him. There was a time when you wielded tremendous power. You must search within yourself and unlock that power once more. And then, you must ascend to divinity.
Once Lucian the Divine united the powers of the Seven against the Void. He led the people of Rivellon to glory. Now, Fane, you will do the same. But unlike Lucian, you will not fail. No, Lucian was weak. Lucian was mortal. You are neither. You will rise as the eternal divine, or the world will fall to the void. A Godwoken must become divine, but we cannot trust these mortals. If we are to have a future, that Godwoken must be you, Fane. So go, my champion. Go and claim divinity.
She starts to answer, but her eyes change, turning from their gentle glow to a dark shimmer. She looks up and gasps.
No, I see them. The servants of the king, the forces of the void. They're here. Fly, dear Fane, fly!
White-hot cold pierces your heart like a blade. You are frozen to the spot. The burning ice pumps through you like a curse, and then...
What's happened here? Where is everyone?
Maybe we can get out of here now, if this thing's awake. I want to put some open sea between us and Dallas.
Where is everybody? Not a soul down here. Just stillness.
People are going to perish. People are going... She'll do it now. She'll never stop.
Sabile's spirit watches your approach like a spectator on a beach watches the waves roll in.
There we have it, don't we, dear? The final die has been cast, and it's come up wanting. I do not know what awaits. Forsake me now. Go hence and give chase to your mortal from death.
The Red Prince's spirit stands bewildered, his spectral eyes beleaguered by disbelief.
Defeat? I have been defeated. Impossible. Impossible. No. The Red Prince does not perish. I will have my I will...
Ifan's spirit stares at you, seemingly through you. There is neither affection nor blame in his... He gives no sign. Ifan's eyes flicker rapidly from side to side, as if he whispers, Gleku Duma, over and over, and suddenly you seem to hear the chattering of thousands of elven voices in the distance. Then, before your eyes, his spirit dissolves into the sound, his own voice joining the cacophony that you can hear, that you could hear, for now, no sound...
I still hear it. It's still there. It'll never leave me alone. It'll never...
She clenches her ghostly fists and
Find it. Destroy it. Make...
What's this? I found them.
Where have you been? I can't keep this up much longer. We need to go. Brace yourself. This might hurt a lot.
The chill of the Hall of Echoes clung to the Lady Vengeance as it returned to the shores of Reaper's Coast. The Godwoken were alive, but what of the gods?
Solid ground materializes beneath your feet. Your weight falls back into your body all at once, and bright sunlight suddenly illuminates your surroundings. As you look around, you realize you're still aboard the Lady Vengeance. A gust of fresh sea air caresses you, and warm sunshine coaxes the bones of your skull and
One moment, please. Just a moment.
Maladay explodes in a fit of retching that racks her body. At last, she sneezes and expels a glob of something shiny and silver onto the deck. It wriggles quickly off the siding and plummets into the sea with a splash.
Better. Let's not do that again anytime soon. Well, we needed to escape, didn't we? So I took us the one place I was quite certain Dallas couldn't follow. I suppose you recognized the Hall of Echoes from those visions you'd had before. Realm of the dead, realm of divinity. I do hope you learned something useful on our little field trip. Desperate how? I see. So, your god seemed uncharacteristically frightened, told you the void was coming, and that only you could ascend to divinity, after which you felt a cold deep within you. Well then, it sounds like you need to ascend, doesn't it? And quickly.
She inspects her fingernails with great attention, then looks up at you from under an arched eyebrow.
Did they mention how you were meant to become the next divine? Well. Luckily for you, Mama Maladay is here to help. We already know you can bless, but as far as I know, you can neither see source nor take it as you see fit. I may not know much about divinity, but I do know that any godwoken worth their salt will know how to perform all these so fantastic feats. You need to go see the Meistr. As have I, but not in the ways a true godwoken can. Forget those ghastly little jars and wands to which small people must resort. You ought to be able to see and speak to the spirits that wander our realm, and you ought to be able to extract the source they leave behind, too. All this just by your little old onesie. No devices, no gimmicks. When you're done, you'll be able to amass and unleash quantities of source so great that Lucian himself would blush. I quite look forward to seeing it. She's got one of those things in Driftwood, you know, the building where people go and they do things inside of it. A home, that's it. She's got a home in Driftwood. Give me your map. There you are. Tell her I sent you and she'll handle the rest. You're at the beginning of a long journey, Godwoken. Long, but exceedingly interesting. Now, I must be going, and so must you. Why, our faithful little sloop, of course. We can all ride together. Won't that be terribly fun? Shopping. Before you go, if I'm not back by the time you find out where our journey takes us next, you can call me back here. Tell the ship. She'll know how to summon me. And in the unlikely case you don't manage to do whatever it is you'll need to do to become what you need to become, you could call me. But I would be grateful if it doesn't come to that.
She's something, right?
I question Siva's trust in her, but Maladay's usefulness is...
I hadn't realized I was in such illustrious company when we met before. Most fascinating, the things I've been hearing about you. That you're, how did Maladay put it again? A god-woken. Yes, that's it. Quite remarkable.
Tarquin pauses, taking you in. Genial smile and calculating eyes.
Most people are too sentimental to admit that friendship is a transaction. I am not. I'm sure we can both be of use to each other. Marvelous. Great things abound in our future, I'm sure. Why, it was your ally, Maladay, who spared me. She claimed that I might be of some use yet. Rather flattering to enjoy the favor of such a powerful being.
This shrine fills you with... You no longer look without, but within.
Doesn't sound promising.
Can you hear me?
The little boy lobs a stone across the river. It makes a long arc before plunging into the water below.
Oh, Ma! Are you all right? Ma! Huh? Please, there was a fight. Some dwarves attacked some magisters and there were sorcerers too. And then the bugs came. Those void things. They killed everyone. And my ma got them to chase her. And she went across the bridge. And then she raised the bridge and she told me to run. And now she's stuck over there with them. Not without Ma. Family doesn't just leave each other. Maybe you can... Yeah.
His gaze shoots to the ground. He grabs a small, flat pebble.
I'll keep distracting him.
He performs a divine order.
Now go out, Ma!
A Magister caravan. I remember one just like this picking me up. Could have been a shipment to Fort Joy.
Not
What
true.
happened here?
Can't be true. No, no, no! Not real. Not happening. No, it's not true. Can't be true.
White as driftwood salt, the dwarf flinches at your approach, yet she holds a short, clean blade aloft. Her fierce stance can't hide the trembling of her fingers.
Back! Back! Magister, I'll kill you, just like the rest of them!
She slumps, all bravado draining from...
No, 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 no. I've never seen anything like those beasts before. Are they gone?
Her eyes widen and lose focus, as though she's seeing something played out before them. Her voice is shaky when she...
Those? Yes. Worst ones I've ever seen. Ripped through the Magisters. The dwarves. Dead. 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 And the sorcerers. Sorcerers. Gone.
Her eyes stare vacantly into the distance, glassy as marbles. It's not cold, yet her shivering is relentless.
I don't know. I don't know. Old Duna's beard. Lohar. My boss Lohar will want to know what happened to them, but I can't remember. Her helping sorcerers. We thought we could help them against the Magisters, but... No. No, I don't know. I don't know.
She flinches at the slightest rustle of wind. You twist your head around as the Magisters haul you away. Your wife and two boys stand in the doorway, helpless. You commit their faces to memory one last time. Wendy cries out something to you. You tell yourself it was, "I love you," or "We'll wait for you." But the truth is, you didn't catch it. The farm recedes from view behind you. From the dark, you stare up at the thin slivers of light visible between the floorboards. Shadows ripple across the slivers, accompanied by heavy footsteps. Magister footsteps. Wood creaks above your head. One of them has paused. Your breath catches in your throat as you wait for him to move along. But the hatch is suddenly yanked open. Light floods you, blinding and accusatory. You hear only one gruffly barked word before the hands seize you. Gotcha! You remember a cold childhood in a no-hope fishing town, bullied mercilessly by a dwarf named Lohar. With no other prospects, you sign up as a Magister, eager for the power denied you all. Work, work, work. That's all there was in Driftwood for a dwarf like you, until you got involved in the anti-Magister resistance. Then, the work was still there. Eloisa was the prettiest girl, not to others, but to you. Her luminous eyes shone brighter than the moon. The day you collared her for Fort Joy, you wept every tear you had. You never cried again. You stride past the chained sorcerers and climb onto the caravan without complaint. As you settle onto the bench, you offer Ralik's blessings to the Magister Guard. He offers only a bleary-eyed stare of disinterest in return, before shoving the chained sorcerers aboard. As you watch them cower, after all, don't they know they're going to be saved? Collared by Magisters in the far north, you were force-marched to this foreign land. A moment of hope as a grinning dwarf removes your source collar. Seconds later, void-woken death. Warm red wine flows down your throat. The languor of a tavern evening soothes you. Suddenly, Shrieks rend the night. The Magisters have come. Warm red blood flows down your face.
Raymond would do if he caught us.
Yeah. Yes, you're right.
Of course I'm right.
Please, why would I kill Lucian's second most charming son?
A fly buzzes around the dwarf's mutilated head.
You poor dwarf. Do you even know what they've done to you?
A Magister guard approaches. Behind her, on the gallows, 2 lizards, one in a Magister uniform.
Step away from the prisoner! You're going to... what, now? Please. She betrayed Alexander. I'd sooner die than free her. You insult me. Why, all right then, done.
The lizard hangs from the gibbet, her face blooded and her scales discoloured. Her eyes are closed, but her tongue flickers as you approach.
Welcome to Driftwood, God-woken.
One bloody eye cracks open, glittering gold appearing from beneath the swollen lid.
Chased you all the way here from Fort Joy, did they? Very well then, cut me down. There is... Or, indeed, you could stand there gawping as if I just run off with your...
The Meistr bares her teeth, stained a deep pink by her blood, and growls.
Maladay is unfortunately mistaken. I cannot train you, but I can certainly help you on your path, as long as I am free of this rope. Be quick about it. Who knows when that Magister might return? God's teeth, it feels good to move again. Now, best scurry off before that Magister wanders back. Meet me at my home in Driftwood.
The Meister's back! She doesn't feel like playing, but...
The Meistr sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand. It looks like it was dislocated by the gallows.
Damnable red cloak baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile with my unmentionables.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she shoves her shoulder back into its socket.
I swear by the seven, if we did not have more important matters to attend to.
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle and thread out of a box. She slowly starts to tend to her wounds.
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe. In your case, more than I suspect, man, god or even reptile can provide. However, it is not enough to be God-woken in order to ascend to divinity. There is a process.
As she speaks, the Meistr uncorks a vial of shimmering liquid, sauce. She lets a couple of drops fall on her hand, but instead of infusing with her body, they quickly evaporate on her scale. She stares at the empty spot on her palm for a long moment before turning back to you, continuing as if nothing had happened.
A process by which God-woken may ascend. It begins with discovering your deepest self, delving into your own soul. Quite. Enthusiasm? On a weekday? My word. We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen God-woken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, God-woken. It is time to see just how awake you are. Fortunately, the Magisters pay as much attention to art as they do to fashion. Kindly remove that painting from the wall. I pray my instructions will... Your talent for following simple instructions fills me with wonder and pride. Push the button. Now, kindly go to the vault and enter the combination. I shall call it out as you go.
A stone door lies flush with the floorboard. Taking your time.
Excellent. Follow me. Your time is at hand, God-woken.
Ancient runes, weird contraptions. This place is an arcanist's dream.
The Meistr is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that. Her face seems grim as she turns to you.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, Godwoken? You would trade every soul in Rivellon for the sake of knowledge. You would make a ferocious librarian. No, becoming the divine means taking on the power of all the gods and the responsibility for all the race. The divine was created by the gods to shelter us from the void. The divine cannot use his power for anything else. Very well, then. Let's see if we can't snatch divinity from the jaws of the void. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then, well, not inhale the smoke, but whatever the skeletal equivalent is. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, itchy bones, or a dire sense of existential dread. They are all perfectly normal, although you will need to sacrifice a little sauce along the way. Everything you need is here. Ingredients in...
The Meistr looks back at her wounds, curiously...
Quite. Mind you, being torn asunder by a Voidwoken would be even more inconvenient. So if you wouldn't mind...
The Meistr points sharply to the ingredients cupboard.
And do not lose...
Opening the door, you see... After a quick rummage, you gather up the black...
Good find.
As the smoke swirls about your skull, your vision starts to swim and cloud. There is an intense pounding in your head, and you can feel the world fading. As the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach out, but you could feel yourself falling slowly, sinking into the depths of your own soul. Bathed in the half-light of this eerie, starless landscape, you spot a figure you could only describe as you, another you. It looks haggard and weak, its voice merely a feeble echo of your own.
Thane! My child, come. Come closer. Let us be revealed. No beast, no monster. Merely an illusion to be dispelled.
The apparition clasps your face in shaking skeletal hands, and you feel a tingle run through your bones. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color before fading back to their accustomed spectrum.
Time to open the eyes you lost so long ago. To see the world as you once did. Speak the spell and see.
Gone is the strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the goddess Amadia in all her spectral glory.
You know me now, don't you, Fane? Your sister, your guardian. You were my hero once. You must be so again. Your kindred soul was my last refuge, my last bastion. From here I can aid you, but only if you grant me one small kindness.
Amadia stretches out and nourishes herself from a source that abounds in your presence. You feel it deep down inside yourself as it drains away.
Ah, yes. That is better. That is so much better. Truly, the forces of the king are hunting us down, leeching us in ways we never thought possible. Droplet by droplet, we are being drained. We are battling for our very survival, and I doubt you would have us lose, Fane. Should we perish, we will be cast into oblivion, and I dare not dream what he will do to you. Indeed, he may come to fear you, if you do as I say. You must realize, dear one, that our fates are now as one, just as our souls are now as one. We are I. United, we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we are to survive the onslaught of the king and his void minions, you must remember what you have forgotten. We must become vastly more powerful. And once you are strong enough, we must travel to the Well of Ascension. There, you will become even more powerful. It is a lake, a pool of pure source, containing half the powers of each of the gods. We gave those powers up freely to create the first divine, a mortal we infused with our united strength. To bathe in the lake is to become the divine. But you, Fane, you could be so much more, and that is why you must be the first to reach it, no matter what the cost. I know, sweet child. Do you think I chose you for that fine bone structure alone? It is important you realize how high the stakes are. The Void has never been this strong. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension, not to bathe in its powers, but to take them. All of them. Even all those powers will barely be enough to defeat the king. Alas, I fear it is too late for me, and the others have shown they cannot be trusted. You are innocent, Fane. That is why you must wield the power. It was you that uncovered it after all. Of course, the others are saying the same to their mortal God-woken as we speak. But there can be only one. So make no mistake, dear Fane. The road to divinity may well mean the blood of those 6 traitors staining your ivory hands. But do not let that dismay you. You will save these mortals. You will save this world. You will save me, the last of your true kin. And you will become a god. They will be at your mercy, which is vastly preferable to you being at theirs, wouldn't you agree? So fret not, but revel in the promise of the lake. I will lead you there when you are ready, when you have remastered the source and once again speak the language of creation. Our journey will be fraught with peril. It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you...
Laughter rolls and echoes into infinity.
Oh, dear child, you are quite formidable. But you have forgotten much of what you once knew. We are I now. I shall teach you the spells you need to remember soon, but not before you relearn how to channel the source in greater volumes. That is why you need to seek these masters of the... They may be nothing but mortals, but like all mortals, they have their uses. Return to Rivellon, seek them out, and force these masters to share the knowledge they have gleaned. Once you have, return to me here. You had forgotten how to view the world, my child. This will make you understand that for us, there is precious little difference between the living. Source is. It is a constant, a subject of neither time nor transience. All of life is Source, and in Source it is, immortally so. Your vision has been restored, giving you the power to see spirits, the souls of dead mortals made manifest in Source. Speak the spell during your peregrinations, and you will see them. Where the dead lie, the dead linger. Alas, I am no longer who I once was, bound to you as I've become. I will teach you what I can, but the links that will expand the bounds of your soul, those are connected. Good luck, dear Fane. Go now, my
The Meistr stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and bruised, but determined.
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after all.
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What do you know?
The Meister's eyes flash with fury, but she holds her tongue and steps back.
You are not a pile of ash, so the ritual was a success, albeit partially. You had all the material requirements, so I can only assume your source was lacking. That is unfortunate. Indeed not. And ever more difficult when you've been purged. I was a master of source once, but no longer. The Magisters saw to that. The river of my source has been dammed. My link to the font from which it flows, severed. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only source masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turned into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to. Just so, some of these are quite dark, twisted individuals. The kind of creatures that grew bored pulling their legs from spiders and so moved on to people. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter what is asked of you.
The Meistr doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping a thin smear of blood from the corner of her mouth.
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them. And you do not seem to be paying attention. Sorcerers, evil, controlling your source, saving Rivellon, please. Please tell me your focus, your only focus, must... The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be an invaluable resource. But do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time, and I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just keep your eye sockets peeled. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
The spirit of an elegant elven woman materializes before you. She seems surprised.
You can see me. A godwoken in my presence. I am the Meister's apprentice. I study under her, but I do not learn. I hear tales of the ritual, of what lies beyond. Such wonders, such powers. I decide to pursue them myself. Meistr tells me it cannot happen, that I am not godwoken. But in my heart, I know I'm special. I try. I burn the root. I breathe the smoke, and it burns me back. No air fills my lungs, only fire. When the darkness falls, I cannot cry out. I leave my life behind with a shameful whimper.
The spirit looks at you regretfully.
It is hard to hear of such power, and not covet it for yourself. I lie to myself and convince myself that I am special. But I am not special. I am dead.
This town looks peaceful enough. Let's find out if looks deceive.
Keep talking, dwarf, and you'll end up eating sawdust from a cell floor.
Wars are brewing, my friend, and I'll stand by your side. But prices will go up, even for one of our own. Buy now and buy often.
Any of your own fish?
You kidding? I don't eat what I sell. I usually buy from Ovis over there.
Ovis? How can you afford his stuff?
I've got me a sweet deal. And that's all you need to know.
Bishop Alexander was slain by Seekers. Culprits
met, friend. Interested in driftwood's finest?
You look down at the cart and see fish with flaking scales, tumours, and, in one case...
Have it your way.
My word, but you do look exhausted. I bet you could use a touch of magic. Yep.
Calm as a coiled spring...
You needing supplies? I'd stock up if I were you. It's madness out there. Never seen anything like it. Until later, then.
The carved figure, your touch, creates a ripple across the mosaic, as if it were water and not stone. A comforting warmth spreads through you, starting at your fingertips.
Woke up this morning in a sweat. Can't get that thing out